we're gonna finish the cantina today. That was us dancing to Mad About Me.
It's, I guess it's gonna look finished. It looks kind of weird to begin with.
It's just like, so it's got a removable roof.
Yeah. What are we finishing?
Let's see. Right now we're gonna build the dewback stable.
Oh yeah, it has like a little stable on the side.
There's also like an extra building that gets put off to the side as well. So we're basically done with the cantina, and then we're gonna build something else because why not?
Hello everyone. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, we're gonna try to finish this thing today. So...
I've got 3 bags, so I've got to move. But before we go too deep, thank you to Rain Man, patron, Jedi Council member, and mod extraordinaire for sponsoring today's live stream.
Thanks, Rain Man.
And we should also show off, you can see some of it, but Gentle Giant was very kind and sent us a couple of goodies, new display things. For example, I'm holding it right over, this is heavy, and I picked it up right over the cantina. Havina Von Reg.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, from Star Wars Squadrons. This is a lot heavier than that one.
Yeah.
But a bust of Havina Von Reg from Star Wars Squadrons, which I love. This is my favorite thing that they sent us.
We got Mando with his little flamethrower flame thingy.
This is a really cool Obi-Wan bust. It's way back here. I'm gonna.
Clone Wars Obi-Wan.
Yeah, done in the Clone Wars style. And then the best one.
The best and
obviously,
the heaviest
the
one.
best one to, in Molly's opinion. Your muscles just popped out there.
Oh, how do I show them off? This is Baby Yoda in a car seat.
I love that they're just like, what else can we do with Baby Yoda? Put him in a chair. Put him in the pram.
He's in the co-pilot chair.
Uh-huh.
So
just make sure he has that little ball. He always has to have the ball.
Yeah. But like, yeah, this is really heavy and huge. Ugh.
That's staying in your office, I suppose.
I've got like a little mini shrine that's growing to the side of my actual shrine on my bookcase.
You don't even have everything in there. I've got some of your stuff right here.
How dare.
You put it there. You were out of room.
I am out of room over there. Because, like, it's not just a Grogu shrine. I've got, like, a little cubby hole that's got Buffy stuff in it, and I've got some Battlestar stuff in there. I want to try to keep it at least a little well-rounded. But, I don't know. Pretty soon it might just be the Grogu room. Which, you know, I'm okay with.
But, again, thank you, Gentle Giant, for sending all that.
Elijah Neal said, whenever Molly carries any Grogu-related item, I get PTSD flashbacks. Same. Honestly, yeah, me too. But it doesn't stop me from picking up all the Grogu things that we have. What's this? Oh, I gotta put this little guy.
Yeah, you gotta put the storm. You're doing all the minifigs. That was the deal.
Alright. Well, there's no stickers.
There's, I think, one more sticker to go.
Oh, there is another sticker.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Gotta build the dewback. And his saddle.
Isn't this the 80th time you've built this? This one's taken us quite a while,
This is only part 7. We're doing, well, I think we're doing alright.
We took like 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's taking a lot longer. But got something fun coming up in October.
Which was we gotta finish it.
Gotta finish it tonight. Let's see here. Mac McDonald has our first super chat of the night. It says, hello, went to an aircraft museum today. Made me think it'd be cool to see a similar place in a Star Wars story. High Republic / original trilogy era ships all in one place.
That would be cool. I think they've mentioned stuff like that before. Like, I think it was Dash Rendar in Legends. Oh, put that on.
Oh, you mess up already?
Well, this isn't a cape, first of all.
It's not?
It's a shoulder pauldron.
Oh.
But yeah, you just put that clear thing on after the pauldron. It's this little rank thingy.
Where does this part go?
Like that.
On the back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The minifigs are so complicated. Oh no, that piece is clear.
I think in Legends, Dash Rendar crashed his ship or something, or maybe it was one of his family members. Someone crashed into like an Imperial museum of some kind. But I feel like I remember there being a flight and space museum in some Star Wars story. But they don't really go into museums or anything. They don't talk about them in new stuff, or really in a lot of Star Wars. It's very rare that they talk about any kind of like recreation.
Well, they brought up something, I forget what they called it, the something mirrors of Jeddah in High Republic.
The Kyber mirrors?
Kyber mirrors. But the way that they talked about it was like it's an attraction, and like the Jedi get to go in like the fast pass lane to go see it.
I would consider it more of like a holy site, which is still an attraction of sorts. But the Kyber mirrors are in the Life Day treasure. There's been a lot of Kyber mirror stuff lately that I'm trying to figure out what that's about, if it's leading to anything.
Yeah. The Ithorian historian said, I see him on his back. I'm sorry. Put him up. He's kind of top heavy.
Yeah, a lot of these Star Wars minifigs, it's like you gotta put them on like a space so they can stand
there
up.
We go.
Yeah, you just really need to lean them back.
Ta-da.
You did it. What were we talking about?
Museums.
Oh, the Kyber mirrors. That's all. Just they've popped up in a lot of Star Wars stories recently, and I'm like, what are we doing with Kyber mirrors?
Yeah.
What's that about?
It made me think of the whatever the dark side area cave thing was in Last Jedi with snaps.
I'm starting to think that is a Kyber mirror. They never say that. I checked through the Last Jedi visual dictionary. They didn't say it was, but it's called the Mirror Cave, and it makes sense that Octo would be built on a spot that had Kyber, so they could build lightsabers. Like, I don't know. I wonder if they're going to start playing with that more.
There's also, is it the mirror spires of Ivexia?
Wow.
I mean, that's it's just a little taste of my trivia knowledge.
Hope I don't have to play you in the Schmodown.
Mentioned at the beginning of that movie, Rise of Skywalker.
That one.
I can't remember
Mirror
the
Spires
title.
of Ivexia? Got that. What's the name of the ninth Star Wars movie?
Oops. What was I gonna bring up? First of all, it's hot in here.
It is.
We have the fan on low. I might kick it up a notch. It's almost like fall weather kind of started. Mostly like early in the morning or like late at night when the sun is down, and our air conditioner was like, all right, time for me to quit.
Yeah, you don't need me.
It's still working, but like anytime after 2 o'clock, it starts really heating up in our top floor, our upstairs rooms. Ugh, it's the worst. I'm so tired of being hot.
Summer's almost over. Oh, I mean, it is over.
It is over.
For Atlanta, maybe it'll be almost over.
Yeah, I think temperatures are supposed to start like getting down a little bit more and staying down, because right now it's like early fall weather for us is like, oh yeah, it feels great early in the morning, and then by the afternoon it could be any day in the summertime.
Oh, we can do back with saddle or without saddle. Well, I did all the work to build the saddle, so that's how it's gonna be.
Is this the saddle?
No, that like this is the saddle, but if you take that
off,
then
I was
you
like,
can put that on
the
as his
saddle's
back.
the same color as the do-back. He's so cute. I wish his mouth opened. It looks like it. Oh, it does. Genuine happiness. Oh.
Doesn't open that wide.
Oops.
You're gonna King Kong him, rip his jaw apart.
No, I didn't do that. Caleb Diaz, thanks so much for the super chat. I cried so hard on the last Ted Lasso, my sisters heard me and was like, isn't this supposed to be a comedy? What's been your favorite Star Wars reference in Ted Lasso?
Oh, what was it? Well, okay, we just found out like yesterday because Claire retweeted someone who saw that Dr. Colonia
is
plays
mom.
Rebecca's mom on Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Which I was like, she looks familiar, and didn't think anything of it. So when I saw that, that was a shock. Who I believe she is also Christopher Lee's niece, I want to say. I think she's related to Christopher Lee.
Yes.
So there's another Star Wars connection. They also made a Star Wars joke. And every time they do that, I get excited because then I'm like, legally, I can talk about this on the channel.
Yeah. He said, I can't remember all the different references he's made, but there was one about Yoda.
There were like two in the first episode. I think the one that I can remember, so it has to be my favorite, is Higgins saying that he was going to watch The Empire Strikes Back with his kids that night. Which
Doomslayer 420 said their favorite was Don't Fret, Boba Fett.
That's it. That's the one I was like, I think they just did that one.
Jamie's was about the tall Yodas. Yeah. Yeah, the last episode was really good. I guess, yeah, it could definitely be a tearjerker.
I got a little misty.
Yeah. But great episode.
I still, like, kind of forget about it every Friday, and then Molly is like, it's Ted Lasso Day!
I don't forget. I'm just like,
how
long until I can watch this?
I let myself forget so then I can be excited. This week we have Terrifying Tales, though, so we're going to have to watch that first.
Oh, yeah.
Ted Lasso will...
Is that like a movie, or is that, like, episodes?
It'll probably be like it's like a movie. Okay. Like the LEGO special last year. It'll probably just be 40 minutes, an hour, or something like that.
Cool. I'm excited. We'll have all of our Halloween decorations up, and I got some Reese's pumpkins. You can have those for breakfast while we watch. And those and the pumpkin beers.
Breakfast of champions.
I talked about this a lot last week, but fully in spooky season mode. We've started watching a couple of... they're technically horror movies. One of the things I love about the horror genre is there's all these, like, subcategories.
Yeah.
And there's kind of something for everyone. But last night we finally got around to watching Dr. Sleep, which is way too long, but was a great movie. I really liked it. Way too long.
I thought it was okay. I liked it. I didn't love it. I did love Midnight Mass.
Oh, so good.
If you haven't watched Midnight Mass, that was great.
I kind of like... That's one of those that I wish someone would knock me out and I would get a concussion so I could forget it and then watch it again.
I don't think either of them were that scary, Dr. Sleep or Midnight Mass, but man, I loved watching Midnight Mass.
It just had a lot of layers to it, and it was a really great story, really great acting. Yeah, if I could just forget about it so I could watch it again, that would be great. Ben Potter, thanks so much for the super chat. In the spirit of what if Garvin
Drace.
what if Garvin Drace destroyed the first Death Star and Luke didn't have the chance? What if Garvin Drace destroyed the first one and Luke didn't have a chance? Well, Luke wouldn't have been as popular as he turned out to be.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been the war hero.
He wouldn't have been promoted as quickly, probably, in the ranks.
Like, I don't know that much would have changed. Like, the galaxy...
He still would have trained to be a Jedi. He just wouldn't have been as well known.
The galaxy still would have had a hero to rally behind. It would have been Garvin Drace. Luke probably still would have at some point had a near-death experience and been called to Dagobah by Obi-Wan. Or, I mean, it's not like he needed the near-death experience. Obi-Wan was just chilling until the right time.
Yeah.
So, I still think he would have been called to Dagobah. He still would have trained. And at that point, Luke is pretty much off doing his own thing anyway. So, it's not like he was a huge part of the military for the Battle of Endor.
Mm-hmm.
I should read the instructions before I just start slapping things on. But... yeah, I don't think a whole lot of stuff would have changed.
It would be cool to see someone else, like, get famous for being the one who destroyed the Death Star.
All right, here's an idea. If we were to change it up, maybe because whiny Luke at that point, maybe he could have sensed that, like, oh, it should have been me, and then it could have driven him to jealousy and anger, and that could have potentially pushed him to the dark side.
Yeah. Could have gotten dark side.
If we want to take a what if and like really run with it.
Yeah. I haven't watched today's what if episode, but I've heard that it's pretty good.
That's another one I keep forgetting is even out right now.
Yeah, because like none of them have really been amazing. They've just been like, oh, okay, cool, that was a fun story. Whatever.
Yeah, just thought think it's fine. It'll do.
It's one of those that we kind of like watch while we're eating dinner before I have to like go do another show or something like that. If we've got like exactly 30 minutes and need something to put on that isn't Parks and Rec, put that on. Jedi Mullet 77, thanks for the super chat. Have you heard the song Star Wars Cantina by Mark Jonathan Davis? It would go great with this build.
Is that the one that's to the tune of Coco Cabana?
I don't know.
At the Star Wars Cantina.
Mark
Music and laughter and old Jedi Masters at the Star Wars. If that's it, then yes, I've heard it. That's about all I remember from it.
I guess we'll get copyright struck if I play it, huh? Yeah, but it is, because it starts out, her name was Leia.
Okay.
She was a princess. With a Danish on each ear, and Darth Vader drawing near.
Yeah. I couldn't remember any of the verses, but the chorus I recall.
That's fun. I thought maybe it was the disco one that ended up being one of our wedding songs.
Well, it was supposed to be. You bring that up again. The disco.
No, it was not supposed to be the Cantina song, but it ended up being that one. Yeah,
but it wasn't even the disco version of it. It was just the Cantina song.
Oh, really?
Long story short, we entered our wedding reception to Mad About Me by Figrin and Dan and the Modal Nodes.
Famous
wasn't
band
supposed to.
From Pittsburgh, by the way.
We weren't supposed to. We were supposed to enter to the Miko disco version of the Star Wars theme. We were supposed to enter to that, and I do not know how our DJ messed that up. But he did.
He was like so great otherwise. He even went so far as to make me my boy band like mashup, because I had all these boy band songs from the 90s that I wanted like to be played at the reception, but I was like, I don't know if I want all these to be played in like their full length versions. So I told him, like, if you want to make like a mashup of all these, feel free. And he did, and it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, we're not mad about it. It's a funny story now. At the time, you were
mad about me.
It. You were mad about that when it happened. But now it's funny.
Yes, we can laugh about it now, I suppose.
I like that no one questioned it. No one at the wedding was like,
I know.
This is weird. Everyone was like, this makes sense.
Yeah. They were like, well, I guess that probably worked out better because it's probably the most recognizable Star Wars song of any of them, so other than like the theme song. So hopefully people knew what it was and weren't like, what the heck kind of ska band is this?
What ska nonsense is this?
Laser Swords, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey y'all, have either of you checked out the preview of Trial of Shadow? First page triggered my PTSD.
No, Trial of Shadow, is that a book? Oh, yes. Oh.
What's Trial of Shadow?
It's the comic that Daniel Jose Older is. Okay, I was thinking a non-Star Wars thing for some reason.
I thought of Shadow and Bone, which is a Netflix show, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, it's the thing you asked me if I saw earlier, where the first page is just, loading.
Oof.
You're like, come on, Daniel.
Oof. Well, I'm kind of glad we got visual representation of that moment, just maybe to get some extra closure, I don't know.
Yeah, you want to see someone grab a handful of his dust. What's wrong with you? That's what someone does that. Someone like goes to, and like picks him up and is.
I thought you were gonna say picks it up and goes.
No. But yeah.
You think someone swept him up or vacuumed him up and put him in like a little urn?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. It's like, what? Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, I think they probably would try to take him home.
It looks like it was raining in that scene.
Yeah.
So that would have been messy.
Yeah.
It would have turned into like a paste.
What's wrong with you?
Like, could have taken the paste and like made a little sculpture of his face.
Put him back together.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. I saw like people talking about it, and it was still worse than I was expecting it to be. I was like, it can't be that bad.
Is that not out yet? That was just a preview?
It was a preview. It comes out in 2 weeks on the 13th. It was supposed to come out next week, and it got delayed for, I guess, production reasons.
Callum, Samuel, we have not seen Shadow and Bone, but I have a couple of friends who've seen it, and I think it was a book series. They read the books and said that the show was really, really good. I'm all about watching all the spooky movies this month, but I'll probably need something new to watch in November, so maybe it'll be that. That's when House of Gucci comes out, by the way. I'm excited for that. Got Sarah Connor look. I'll take it. Davey Crotch Kick, what are your guys' plans for this Halloween?
Davey Crotch Kick.
Yeah. Halloween is all month long for me, and
you know the month hasn't started yet, right?
It's starting on Saturday, so
yeah,
this
but I
is
mean,
just
like
a
we've
warm-up.
already, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're just preparing. I want to be prepared.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, the month hasn't even begun, and you're like, it's an all-month affair.
Yeah. Mostly watching a lot of scary movies. There is a horror movie trivia night at a local bar. Not the one that we normally go to. It's at Battle and Brew. But I might try to go to that with our friend Zach Burkett. Because he's really good at... He's actually good at horror movie trivia.
He's also in the Snowdown.
Yeah, I like pretending that I'm good at it. We're throwing a party here on the weekend of Halloween. And might do like a little costume contest thing on Halloween night. We'll see. Because I'm very excited for my costume, and I'm not going to tell anyone what it is until it's done.
I'm probably going to do something simple and stupid.
We have our, like, well, this is, for me, this is my side piece Halloween costume, which is the Baby Yoda onesie. And this year, we got Alex a Mandalorian onesie, so we got our onesies.
I had my Cobb Vanth onesie last year.
Well, it wasn't a Cobb Vanth onesie.
No, it was a Boba Fett onesie that I put a red scarf on.
Yeah.
But that was like, the first episode came out the week before Halloween, and I was like, I'm going as Cobb Vanth.
All right, let me get back to some super chats, but I will answer. My favorite season of American Horror Story is Coven, which I think is season 3, but closely followed by Hotel, which is season 5, I think.
I'm really loving the current season. I think it might be my favorite. The current
season is really good.
I think it might be my favorite. I haven't seen all of them. I'm definitely in and out of American Horror Story.
The only one I haven't seen is Freak Show.
You started it, right?
Yeah, that one I just like couldn't get into. I started it. Maybe I should give it another shot.
So that's how I feel about most of them.
Let's see. Kip Anderson, thanks so much for the super chat. Have you noticed that the cockpits of Imperial shuttles look like, oh boy, Shinkansen 300 series or the Tobu 100 series?
I have no idea what that means.
I don't either. Are those cockpits, are those like actual aircraft terms? If so, you might be talking to the wrong people.
We deal almost exclusively in space fantasy. I don't know real stuff very well.
Shinkansen 300 series or Tobu 100 series.
Someone in the chat probably knows what they are.
Oh, they're trains.
Oh. Oh. Huh, that's interesting. Maybe they took them from model trains.
Yeah.
Because that's how they made a lot of the spaceships, was just kit bashing parts.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense then. Interesting. I mean, I wish I knew more about trains, to be honest.
That made me think of the Parks and Rec line. I don't know why you'd assume I'm a fan of model trains. I mean, it's accurate.
It's accurate. High-speed Japanese trains. Trains.
That makes sense. Yeah, the second I heard they were trains, I'm like, oh, okay. I get it.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
But no, clearly we've never noticed that.
Feral on Fiction, thanks for the super chat. Trivia, what's the real name of the dog in The Last Jedi?
What?
There's a dog in The Last Jedi?
I don't know what dog Feral is talking about.
I don't either. Yeah, no, I can't think of a dog. Oh, I mean, yeah, Gary might be in it somewhere.
Oh, Gary Fisher?
Gary Fisher, yeah.
Is he in it? That'd be funny.
He could be in I'm like, Canto Bight somewhere.
Am I thinking of something completely obvious? Or am I unable to think of something completely obvious?
Oh, it is in Canto Bight. Okay.
Like a dog person, or... Oh! I think it's the lady that Finn like rides by. Finn and Rose ride by the lady that like goes ah, and like
the
screams
opera
all
singer?
operatic, and she has an animal that is like float. It has like sacks attached to it that make it float, and it does look kind of like a dog.
That's scary.
No, I don't think. No, I think that's something else. But I think that's what Theryl's talking about.
Oh, cute. We saw she's in one of our cosplay videos from Dragon Con, which this year's is coming out soon. There was a Leia cosplayer who had like a little Gary pillow.
Yeah.
It was like a dog-shaped pillow with the print of Gary on it, which I thought was a nice touch.
I think that was 2016. Maybe 17.
Linum HQ, thanks so much for the super chat. Who would win in a duel, Dooku or Palpatine?
Palpatine.
I think neither. They're both old men, and they would just knock each other out.
It would look like Saruman and Gandalf.
Yeah, old man fight.
Wizard battle. Lots of
yeah. Oh yeah, Palpatine for sure. He can do that little spinny trick.
Yep, that's why. I also just think.
Also, we didn't see it in live action, but Palpatine in the Clone Wars with two lightsabers.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Come on.
Him taking on Savage and Maul at the same time, like it's nothing. I think that Dooku would also be nothing compared to Sidious.
I mean, Dooku did pride himself on the swordsmanship aspect of the fighting, I guess, but sure. I think that might be part of his downfall, is that he wants to be so, like, fancy about everything that Palpatine would just, like, sneak up on him and stab him in the back.
That's true. I mean, yeah, Palpatine's going to do whatever he needs to get the win, but I think that, I mean, they also say that Yoda's a great swordsman, and Yoda beat Dooku, and then Sidious beat Yoda. I mean, I would say that was more of an even fight, but...
Yoda is a great swordsman, but I wonder if that's because he's also a great gymnastics...
it's hard to track.
Gymnast, I guess. Gymnast, because he... And especially when they added him to Battlefront 2, like, he was my favorite to play because you could just jump and flip and somersault everywhere, which those are the characters that I like to play in fighting games.
Yeah, you're a big Eddie Gordo fan.
Eddie Gordo.
Oh, I meant to put this on there. All right, 1 bag down, 2 to go.
Alex Ward, thanks for the super chat. Hi, you two. I was surprised Alex didn't love Visions more since it was so weird. Would you now say you're a moderate in the is it canon versus canon doesn't matter debate?
No. Like, that's basically how I expected to react to Visions. I didn't think I was going to love every single short. But I think that it's important that Star Wars do weird stuff. And with the understanding that not every weird thing you do, I'm going to like. But, 1 out of 9, I'm gonna love to death. I love The Ninth Jedi. And to me, that's worth it. Like, I'll go through the other 8, which I still liked, and the more I watch them, I gain more appreciation for them. But, like, I don't love them the way I love The Ninth Jedi, and so I'm very happy to go through 8 other stories where I'm like, yeah, that was good, that was fine, to get to the one that I'm like, that was amazing. And I know that there are people out there that they didn't love The Ninth Jedi, they loved La Pinocho, and they're kind of having the same thing where it's like, yeah, I'll sit through the Ninth Jedi snooze fest to get to La Pinocho. Like, I like that Star Wars tries to do a little something for everybody. They don't all have to be tailor-made for me.
Yeah. So here's my thought process on canon stuff and Visions and how it fits into there. I don't really worry about canon at all. Like, it very rarely crosses my mind to be like, oh, well, how does that fit into canon, or is that canon?
Which is true for most people.
Yeah. Every once in a while, something will stick out to me, and I'll be like, how does that work? But it's not that I'm concerned, it's just that I have a legit question. But before I get to Visions, I'll say one of my favorite things about things that are more worried about canonicity than others is like stuff like the Certain Point of View books. Where I like when they go back to something we already know about and like fit in new stories for characters that didn't previously have stories. And like, I just like reading stuff like that is canon, to be like, oh cool, now when I watch this movie I know this little side story about this character that's canon, and that's really fun for me. Visions is really cool because it's not being held back by anything. It's completely original. It's completely a creative process and story, and I like that there's an option for that in Star Wars, and I hope that that continues to be a thing, because I think someone with a creative mind could make a really interesting Star Wars inspired story that doesn't have anything to do with what's canon or with what's already been made, because, you know, sometimes that can be considered like a setback. Like if you're being told to create in this box, you're like, well, I want to create this other thing outside of the box. Well, you can't, sorry. So I don't know,
I agree.
I don't really have intense feelings about canonicity one way or another, but some people do, and that's okay too.
I think, I mean, yeah, like I love canon stuff and watching things linked together, but there's absolutely a place for stories that don't do that at all, and they're still fun. And that's like, I'm not worried about whether or not the Ninth Jedi is or isn't canon, whether or not it ever becomes canon, or like any of that. I'm just, that was great. I loved that story. I loved what they did with the lightsabers and this and that. So that's all I care about right now.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want it to make it sound like, oh, canon. I've like literally said canon doesn't matter before, but like I still like canon. It's more that I get tired of that being like people saying
argument.
People saying
People
that like, oh, if it's not canon, I don't care. I'm like, well, you're missing out.
Yeah. There's so many people took so many of the Visions episodes differently, and like we were talking with Ruben, his favorite was La Pinocho, and some of the like themes represented in that story really spoke to him and his like background and his experiences in life in general. And I would love for that to happen more often for people, and I think that will happen more often if we get more kind of out of the box, loosely based on Star Wars stories. And
I agree.
It's just fun.
Yeah, I think most things will still remain within the canon, but there should be room to keep playing with stuff. Like, that's one of the most fun, like one of the reasons I like The Ninth Jedi so much is because it really sparked just imagination and ideas, and that's fun. Like, that's what Star Wars should do.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like if you're a little kid and you're playing with Legos, and it's not necessarily a set of Legos, you just have a tub of Legos and you just build. It's like what the Lego movies talk about, being a master builder. Like, they're just building things without needing instructions. Or like a little kid just makes something that they think looks like a spaceship out of Legos. Like, I don't know. I think stuff like that isn't as common nowadays, and that's unfortunate. Everyone wants to go by the rules, buy the book, buy the instructions, and I'm like, no, break the rules.
Like, yeah, sometimes things like Marvel come along, and God, it's so fun to watch the MCU build up towards like these big crossover events. Like, I love the MCU, but then I think even myself sometimes have gotten caught up in like, well, that's just what movie making is now, and storytelling in general. And then I remember being a little surprised by The Mandalorian when it first started, where I'm like, this is very episodic, and like, yeah, it felt a lot more like the X-Files, where it's like sometimes it's just an adventure of the week, and sometimes it furthers the whole plot of the season,
which is what Clone Wars was.
Yeah, I mean, Clone Wars even, I would say, is much more scattered and like doesn't have an overarching like, this is what we're doing this season. Yeah. But yeah, like, not everything has to be the same all the time.
All right, we've hyped on that quite a bit, and
sorry, it's sticker time, but I gotta find the piece you need.
We did say we were going to talk about Book of Boba Fett stuff, so good timing with Jane Dalton's super chat. Based on the description of the Book of Boba Fett, do you think we'll see more Hutts from the Hutt Council, and could Talon Card show up as a rival to Boba? I don't know who Talon Card is.
He's from the...
You've explained him to me before.
I think we did it. I think we went over this last week. He's in Heir to the Empire, the original Thrawn trilogy.
Is he... No, he's not.
He's kind of like...
Old Man Jedi.
No, he's like King of the Smugglers, for lack of a better term. He heads up the Scum and Villainy faction. I'm not expecting Talon Card.
Does this go on just like that?
Yes. I'm not expecting Talon Card really at all. Like,
I think we're gonna get a totally original story, but I would like to see more Hutts.
Yeah. Well, I even wonder if Boba Fett could take the Talon Card's place as King of the Scum and Villainy faction.
Where did that go?
Oh. Did
we miss one?
Oh, I think there was like genuinely a piece missing on the speeder, and I forgot about that. But yeah,
there's a lone.
It was supposed to go over there, and that piece just wasn't in there. Like, I wonder if Boba Fett could wind up being. Oh my god.
Oh, he wasn't supposed to be.
Oh my god. Yeah, he was.
That's not his.
That's where the instructions told me to put him.
All right.
If Boba Fett, I'm trying to say something. If Boba Fett could be the leader of the Scum and Villainy, like, faction that eventually helps out against Thrawn, I could see him taking Talon Card's place. But yeah, Hutts. I definitely think the Hutt Council could and should come in. I think that would be fun. I'm not expecting like Marlowe to pop up with his little wig and stuff like that. I'm not expecting the goofier looking Clone Wars Hutts to appear. But some Hutts. Maybe we'll finally see Rada the Hutt. Everyone is always asking where Rada is, and he could come back and try to take his daddy's place.
I would love that, to be honest. I just think visually and like for the more casual fans, it would be, and the less casual fans, it would be just really fun to see a new Hutt just pop up in something new. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a a pretty new and original story.
I think so too. They also did talk about an aftermath, which we know they're kind of pulling from with Cobb Vanth and everything, that the Hutts did plan to replace Jabba with one of their own. So that could still be in play. It's been like 5 years though, so why haven't they done that? I don't know.
It's YouTube is giving us like some weird message, so if it starts buffering, sorry about that. It was buffering a second ago, but now I think it's okay. Well, this isn't really tied to Book of Boba Fett, but they said that in the next year or so, there's going to be 11 new streaming series, which is really fun. It didn't say in the next year, like in the next
few years.
Few years, yeah. So,
Oh boy.
When do you think we'll get a trailer for Book of Boba Fett?
I still think November 12th is probably the safest bet. Disney Plus Day.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know if we'll get like a teaser before that, because I think what we got with him sitting on the throne was the teaser.
I think we generally have been getting, well, let's see. We got the Hawkeye teaser like a week or two ago. So September, so that was 2 months out.
That was just a teaser?
A trailer, whatever. So maybe we'll get something in October and then again in November, but I think they're probably, I feel like we still get trailers like 2 weeks before some stuff has been coming out. So I'm expecting November and then like mid-December for the big marketing pushes.
I'm excited. And honestly, I'm totally fine with the December 29th date, because I am excited to see this series, but I'm also I love the holidays, and I want to be able to just like relax and enjoy the holidays before we go quote unquote back to work to talk about shows and stuff. So that kind of forces us to enjoy ourselves before the madness kind of starts.
That's true, I guess.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited, and it's like, it is kind of like a Christmas present to us that we're getting this series at all, but I would like to enjoy it after the holidays, after we get to take a little bit of a break.
I was still hoping for the 22nd, but that's fine. I figured Christmas, when they said that it was like, all right, it's either the 22nd or the 29th.
Yeah. Okay. Alex Ward, thanks so much for the super chat. Here's more money to make up for my wretched spelling. Just trying to the character count. Oh, to the character count. Thank you for the response. Very well said. You guys rock. No worries. I am a terrible speller as well. Think of it this way. You're not a bad speller. You're a creative speller. You're spelling creatively.
Molly was just saying, you got to break the rules.
Break all the rules. I feel like I may have been like an art teacher in my past life.
Letters don't mean anything. They can mean whatever you want them to mean. Letters are subjective.
Guiguio, thanks for the super chat. Who do you expect will be the main antagonist in the Book of Boba Fett? Any chance we could see the return of Rada to claim back his heritage? We kind of touched on that.
I still think Rada's going to be too young. I mean, he was a tiny baby in the Clone Wars. So it's been like 30-ish years since then. I just don't think he's going to have grown that much. I don't think the Hutts are going to be confident in his leadership abilities at that point in time. But, you know, maybe Hutts hit puberty really hard. It's possible. So, what?
Maybe.
I'm not really expecting Rada. I'd be down for it. I think it's fun. But I kind of wonder if it's just that there've been like whispers that Boba Fett's going to be just out to get anyone who's ever wronged him. So I'm like, I don't know if there's going to be one antagonist. It might be an enemy of the week kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, this week I'm going to go blow up Bosk. And this week I'm going to go get Dengar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to say if there's going to be like a main antagonist. I feel like... Okay, how's this? I feel like Boba Fett will be his own main antagonist.
No, I think that's a fair thing to say. He could be an anti-hero. Like, he's the protagonist of the story. He still needs someone against him, but I do kind of think that he'll be an anti-hero, a not good guy.
Mm-hmm. Someone earlier asked if we would see Daniel Logan in like a flashback or something as a younger Boba Fett, and I think that would be really cool.
If they flash back to that age, I think that's what they would do.
Let's do it. Let's get Daniel Logan back up on the horse, the Star Wars horse, the Star Wars Orback, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
B. Kenobi, thanks so much for the super chat. Hi, Molly and Alex, you wonderful duo.
Oh,
thank you. Going off of, quote, canon versus not, would a good phrase about your opinions be, quote, canon doesn't have to matter?
I would say more maybe like canon isn't the only thing that matters.
Yeah, canon, because if you say canon doesn't have to matter, then that's not true in our case, because like when we see things that are different from what they should be in canon, we're like, wait, huh? we do show some concern.
Yeah. Well, I mean, canon doesn't have to matter, but like my frustration always comes when people are. Yeah,
that was the quote that they just said. Should we say that that's our opinion?
Yeah, and I'm saying it's not.
Okay.
Hold on. Go back. So what, say it again.
Canon doesn't have to matter.
Yeah.
You just said canon doesn't have to matter.
Oh, okay. Then yes, I do agree with that. I think it depends on person to person.
It depends. I think it depends on the content that you're referring to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes from person to person. Like when the Kanan thing happened in the Bad Batch, I think there were some people who A, didn't know that it was even a contradiction of sorts, and B, if someone told them like what happened, they'd just be like, so like it's just everyone has their own takes on canon. Star Wars is so much like a religion at this point. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Where like everyone looks at it a different way, and there's no wrong way.
Yeah, and you know what?
Accept it,
I do think there is a process of hierarchy when it comes to canon things. Like, I don't want to piss anyone off, but like things that are in the comics are lower on the totem pole. Mm. Like what we saw in Bad Batch, they changed something that was one way in the comics, but once it goes up on a streaming service, like a show or a movie, like that's bumped way up in importance as far as canon is concerned.
And I think you're right, and I will say I totally feel people's frustration, because that's how Legends was. There were different tiers, and then when they rebooted the canon or whatever, they were like, we're not doing that anymore. Everything counts. And everyone was like, yay, great. And then to like slowly go back into the tiers, it's like, come on. Mm-hmm. But I do think you're right that, yeah, the fewer people that read something, which usually I would say the books and the comics are closer to the bottom, yeah, it's more likely that a streaming service is going to contradict something, and they'll do their best, just like I do or like they did afterwards online, to say like, okay, well, here's how it kind of still works, but
Now, I will say, this wasn't me questioning something being canon or not, or like something being technically wrong, but when we saw the Book of Boba Fett poster today, my first thought was, oh, his armor's back to being all dinged up. Like his like fresh paint job is nowhere to be seen, sort of, on the armor. And I can't tell if that was legitimately my first thought seeing the poster, or if I was like, okay, what are people going to be mad at right off the bat, so that I can
Let's get ready for this.
Tune it out of my head. But I mean, that was my first thought. I was like, oh wait, didn't he repaint his armor? But I was like, this literally doesn't matter.
And I mean, I think that it will probably be addressed. I kind of miss the full-on robes he had. I liked the upper half being the armor, and then the lower half being all the flowing like black cloth. I thought that looked cool.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I was mad about. I wasn't mad, but I do think that that'll probably play into things that we're gonna see a reason why his armor is all dinged up. And I think people were speculating with all of they said, Tamira Morrison said there would be flashbacks in this show. So I think we're going to see maybe a bunch of different phases of Fett. And so all the different armor versions are probably just to help us know when is where.
We also talked about, just like, I forget when we talked about this, but maybe it was on a Clone Wars reaction, just the idea that Boba Fett has paint.
Yeah.
In his possession, like on the Slave One, like he's just got that green and I guess red paint. I forget what other colors.
Yeah, green,
black,
red,
probably.
little yellow, yeah.
But he just like has extra paint, and he like.
You never know.
I just imagine him like sitting at a desk, kind of like someone painting their miniatures. Like he's taking the time to paint his armor back to what it was originally, but. Because it probably was just a genuine first reaction, because I remember when we first saw him after it got the paint job, I was like, ooh, I don't like that.
I had it's always just a reaction to change.
Yeah.
Because I was the same way. I was like, why did they change it? And it didn't take me long to be like, all right, it's different, it's cool, and I like it.
I was like, they should have at least shown us the montage of him repainting it. He just like comes back and it's all fixed up with new paint on it. I was like, really? Really? Does he have time to paint this? And that bugged me for a while, but it doesn't bug me anymore.
I think that's the cycle for a lot of Star Wars stuff. The fans, it's like, yeah, that bugged me at one point. It doesn't bug me anymore. Like, eventually all this stupid stuff gets forgotten and even cherished.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
A lot of rants today.
Yeah, feeling
Why
ranty.
Can't I get this?
Jamie Dorr, thanks so much for the super chat. Why does everything in The Mandalorian still look bulky? It's like we're still in the 1980s when the original trilogy was being made. I think that's kind of like a vibe that they're going for on purpose.
Yeah, I think that's the point, is to make it look like the original trilogy. I absolutely think that's what they're going for. It's the same reason all of the Rebels in Rogue One have sick mustaches and mutton chops. Like, that's just...
that was the style in the 70s.
And the only reason that is because, yeah, it was the style in the 70s. So all the Rebels had mutton chops. It's like, well, okay, I guess we have to stick with that aesthetic, huh?
One of my favorite... This is like not totally off topic, but one of my favorite things about Rogue One is it's like very subtle, but it's on Wobani in the turbo tank that Jin is being transported in. There's like a shot of a stormtrooper in the turbo tank, and he's like sitting down, but he's in like such a weird stretched out like sitting position, and he just looks miserable.
Yeah,
because literally that's what someone in that stormtrooper suit of armor would look like trying to sit down. They are just uncomfortable. They're hot. They're tired. They're sweaty. They gotta sit weird to even try to relax in a suit like that, and they can't. And I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what it would look like for a stormtrooper to try to sit down. And I thought that was a really nice touch.
Lots of rants, lots of tangents today.
Yeah.
But it's good. We're doing good.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a thing, a vibe that they were going for on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 5 years since Return of the Jedi-ish, and I don't think technology is advancing all that rapidly in this time of, like, weird restructuring and stuff, because the New Republic doesn't seem like it has a very good handle on things.
Yeah. Bill Rudd, thanks so much for your super chat. It was great to wake up to the surprise of Galaxy of Sounds this morning, torn between beeps and oddities as my number one. Do you have a favorite Star Wars sound?
We haven't had time to watch it yet.
Was there...
But I guess they're just asking for a favorite sound, but...
Yeah. Is this the thing that's like a moving screensaver? Or is this something different?
I haven't watched it yet.
Because I looked at the episodes and they're all like very short.
Mm-hmm, they're like 7 minutes long. It's just supposed to be... It's like scenes with music cut out, and it's just the sound effects.
Okay,
so like,
this made me think of like the...
I think.
Like, just like the... I don't know what to call them. They were like screensavers.
Yeah, the... what did they call them? Like, it was like environments or...
Yeah.
Star Wars biomes. That's what it was.
That's what I thought this was.
It's along those same lines. Like, they're just little... I think it's just little bonus extra Disney Plus content. Here you go, nerds. Eat it up.
Eat it up.
But it does sound good. I saw a lot of people talking about how much they appreciated it as, like, Star Wars GMs. Where they're like, sometimes I just need some sound effects for flavor and stuff. And now
I love a good soundtrack to a D&D moment.
So, yeah, it's nothing like huge or mind-blowing, no story content. It's just kind of a celebration of Star Wars sound effects. But yeah, I need to watch it still.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but definitely want to. Otherwise, favorite sounds in Star Wars. I mean, lightsabers, obviously. But each one has a very different sound. Like, a lot of the lightsabers in the prequel era sound very, like, smooth. Like they just got greased up and all the screws got tightened.
Well maintained.
Well maintained.
Sure. Makes sense.
And I'm sure the lightsabers of the High Republic era would sound even more smooth. Like a finely aged scotch.
I think... You think scotch is smooth?
I don't, but
I
some
know
people
do. I do.
Like
you
a
don't.
like
I
a
was just trying
finely
to...
like a finely refrigerated vodka. How about that?
I think the sound that I like most is the speeder bike. That, like, woo. That's what it sounds like. Woo. But you know the one.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why that always gets me excited to hear. I guess I just loved the speeder chase as a kid. So that's probably what it is.
Yeah. Those are good sounds. I feel like the AT-AT sounds are great because like they were in Secrets of the Empire. Or wait, no. Not Secrets of the Empire. What's the N64 game?
Rogue Squadron?
No.
Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire.
Okay.
All the stuff on Hoth was in Shadows of the Empire. One of my favorite sounds is the the sound of Kylo Ren using the Force to like invade someone's mind.
Yeah, that's a good sound.
Because it's a cat purring. Like that's how they recorded that sound. They like took a recording of a cat purring and slowed it way, way down. And I think that's really cool. I love seeing the sound design behind the scenes stuff and just like the people who did the sound effects for BB-8 using like a bowling ball, and they're like, okay, if you dropped BB-8, what would it sound like? And so they have to figure out what kind of bowling ball to use and what kind of surface they want to drop him on. And like that is just like such a cool job to me.
That's like that's Foley art, which is a little different from what I'm about to talk about, but I'm reading through Making Star Wars right now, and just Ben Burt talking about how sometimes he was doing odd jobs at ILM, like helping with visual effects, but the whole time George and everyone else were over in England shooting, he was just like walking around recording sounds, like, and I think he was not even graduated from college yet. They just like pulled him out of USC and they were like, we need you to like create the sound of a Wookiee. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
He's just walking around recording everything he can.
And for the Wookiee noise, I think, don't they use like a mixture of like a seal,
walrus,
a walrus, and a bear, or something like that?
A bear named Pooh and a walrus named Petulia, I think.
Aww.
I'm trying to remember that.
Cute.
Shmoda, I shouldn't have told you.
Now I know. Forever. They don't really ask behind the scenes.
They have before.
Well, they have before, but they don't really ask that stuff as much now.
All right, well, I'll be laughing when they ask.
Will you?
Mm-hmm.
It's not polite to laugh. Oh, Elliot Finn says, I'm awake past midnight, and that means I can catch a stream for the first time.
Oh.
Where are you? Where it's...
What time is it now? So...
7.
England? That's 5. Yeah, I think that's about right. 5 hours ahead.
I don't know how time zones work.
How many countries are in this country?
Yeah. I'm in the UK. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it.
Brian Bailey, I think, must be joining us. We have not seen the Galaxy of Sounds episodes yet, but
maybe I'll watch them while you're on
your
while you're doing your show.
Ooh, doors opening and sealing. That's a good sound too.
I mean, TIE Fighter is always fun.
Ooh, yeah.
X-Wing engines. X-Wing laser blasts. I remember when the Force Awakens trailer came out, the very first one, and there's that shot that's following an X-Wing as it's shooting down a TIE Fighter, and you hear that like, whap, 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 whap. Like, I love that.
That's dubstep if I've ever heard it. Trap music.
If Chasna Chaddock is flying, yes. You know, here's a noise I really like. In The Last Jedi, during the Battle of Crate, when TIE fighters like strafe all the trenches, it's just a very unique noise. And it's just like a bunch of impacts into the salt, I guess.
Oh, I was going to say on Crate?
Yeah. But it's just like... doo, 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 doo. It's kind of like the Sebulba engines that you love so much.
I haven't even talked about the pod racing sounds, but Sebulba's pod racer is peak Star Wars sound.
Our friend Jim on Twitter was like, I hope... He said, I hope the Galaxy of Sounds is just 7 minutes of Sebulba's engines. It's like, yep.
That's so good. It's so like loud and obnoxious, but you're like, yeah, that's exactly what Sebulba's pod racer would sound like. Jawa noises, yeah.
I remember asking David Collins what his favorite noise was.
Oh yeah, if you guys like the Galaxy of Sounds, you should definitely check out his interview with David Collins.
Which I bet David Collins worked on Galaxy of Sounds.
He absolutely
I have to imagine he did.
He tweeted about it today.
So, yeah. So, let's see. He said that a favorite noise of his is when Luke cuts the hole in the AT-AT to throw a bomb in it. That he uses that sound all the time because he does a bunch of sound design for, like, the Bad Batch. And his first job ever was for Republic Commando. He was in charge of everything that came out of the speakers, which is crazy.
That's a big job.
That's too much responsibility. I can't handle that.
Yeah, you don't want to mess that up. Rachel Meyer says, The Phantom Menace is such a hot movie. So great. It really does slap.
So hot right now.
Honestly, that's my favorite prequel of the three.
I think it's mine too. It's
like,
just, I mean, that's the one I saw when I was 12, and like, I was still just diving into Star Wars for, I mean, it was like year 3 of me getting into Star Wars, but to see one in the theater was like, oh my god.
9-year-old Anakin is not as insufferable as teenager Anakin.
Yeah, he has an excuse when he's 9. Yeah, you're a kid, you're a slave, like, alright. And honestly, yeah, he's not that whiny at all. Teenager Anakin is very whiny.
He's a person and his name is Anakin.
That's not whiny.
No, you called him a slave.
Oh, you're right, I'm sorry. Well, I was, like, saying that there's a reason that we're sympathetic towards you.
Yeah. And, like, I totally understand people who say that Revenge of the Sith is their favorite because it also is really good, but it's too long for me. There's some stuff that like is way too drawn out. I feel like the final battle on Mustafar it's literally like 30 minutes of them swirling lightsabers around, and it's like ugh.
That was the best thing.
They could have shortened that. Come on.
I watched that in college. Let's see, that came out the year I graduated high school.
It does also matter, like, when you see these things.
Sure. Yeah, we saw them at the same time, though.
Yeah, we were in high school, so I was like, come on. Get it together.
I was having the opposite reaction. I was like, this is amazing.
I thought the same thing about Return of the King, but it wasn't as much as, like, get it together. I was like, literally, when is this movie gonna end? We've had this many endings. I
was over there going like, please don't let this movie end.
I mean, it was good, and now, of course, like, I would watch only the extended cut, but at the time, I hadn't read the books, so seeing Return of the King in theaters, the first ending that plays out, I was like, great, fantastic, phenomenal. And then it just, like, keeps ending these different little subtle ways, and I was like, what is happening right now?
I mean, they do. I'll definitely admit that they do way too much to like make you think it's ending. Lots of fades to black, and you're like,
to black
is this over? Oh, they're fading back in. All right.
The end. They should, if they're gonna do something like that, they can fade to black, but like keep the music at full speed ahead, so just to like let people know that this is still going on. Can you do a video on your least favorite Star Wars movie? Nah. I mean,
I'm going to. I still need to do this because I started it with The Rise of Skywalker, doing like the everything I love about about The Rise of Skywalker, and I was like, I should do this for the rest of them.
But like, you would never do everything I hate about.
No. I'm saying I would do a video on everything I love about Attack of the Clones. It's my least favorite one.
The music is the answer.
I mean, I would have more than one answer. But the music Across the Stars, come on.
Yeah, the music and also Dexter Jettster.
He's on the list. But no, I wouldn't do like why Attack of the Clones is garbage, and if you like it, you're wrong. Because you're not.
Yeah.
And it's not garbage.
Yeah, so you would do a video that was like yes, this is my least favorite of the Star Wars movies, but here's what I loved about it. Because we're not about doing videos on what we disliked about something.
We're not about that life. I might need that back.
Ooh, what's in there? A little crystal thing. What is that?
Kyber crystal, I guess.
I found a kyber crystal in the cantina. Wooher
And
is
that's
a
canon.
Jedi, confirmed. What is all this? What is Wooher doing back here?
I don't know. You can tell that story. Where is he? Wooher's around here. He's doing whatever you want him to do.
He's forging a lightsaber for himself.
There you go.
Or he was.
Or he's trying to figure out how to put kyber crystals into drinks and make people force sensitive.
Ooh. No, I don't think he's that smart. He might be. I don't want to count him out of anything. There's got to be a reason why he doesn't like droids and he doesn't allow them into his bar.
Because his family were killed by them. It's from a certain point of view.
Oh. I was waiting for you to either say that was true or false.
It's true.
So, in that case, he is creating some kind of anti-droid
Oh no.
machinery so that if any droid does step through the doorway to his bar, they get disintegrated.
Oh gosh.
And EV-99 is secretly working with him because he's evil. I don't know. I like the idea that EV-99 is in charge of other droids and hates other droids, but he is a droid.
Does make sense.
That's just good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Hosk, thanks for the super chat. Do you like pecans and caramel coated in chocolate? Yes. I mean, I do.
Sure. I have no problem with
I
that.
like pecans, I like caramel, and I like chocolate, and I like all of those things combined.
Sounds good to me. Oh.
I saw today, because I was looking through all the Halloween candy, trying to find just like any specialty flavor things that might be kind of like a limited edition thing. And they have Reese's that have, I guess Reese's is teamed up with Take 5, which I don't even know what's in a Take 5.
I've never even heard of that.
They have
Where does this go?
They have like little mini Reese's with Take 5 stuff in them. So I guess it's got like little pieces of nut or something like them. What are you doing?
Oh, this goes here. Oh man, we're running out of space fast.
What's this?
It's like a stormtrooper's staff.
That's
While he's riding on
huge.
yeah, he's riding on the dewback.
This is to scale?
Yeah.
You can't see it unless I hold it up in front of.
Well, when he's riding on a dewback.
That's huge. That is the length.
Oh man, I missed a lot of stuff.
This is the length of 4 minifigs. It's like what do they call them? Jousting sticks?
Yeah.
Poles? Jousting poles? Jousts? What are they called?
What are they called? No, not a javelin.
Javelin you throw.
Right. I've seen A Knight's Tale so many times. Why can't I think of... Someone in the chat's bound to help us by now. What are those things?
Spear?
No.
Lance?
Lance, is that right? That sounds right.
Lance, maybe. I still feel like Lance is sharp at one end.
Well, like if you're...
Yeah, well, everyone's saying Lance. Is that what Lancelot came from? He was just like
he's
all
just a
about
big
the
jouster.
lances. Yeah.
God, you lance a lot, huh?
Ooh, lightsaber jousting. I mean, that would end pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's not about, like, having any skill or having better armor than the other person. That's just, like...
There is Obi-Wan jousts in
who has better aim.
the 2D Clone Wars against Dirge.
Really?
Yeah.
In the... what's it called?
Tartakovsky.
Tarkovsky. B. Kenobi with another super chat. Yeah, Phantom Menace, favorite prequel as well. That's a good one. That's the one I think that is the most fun and maybe the most well-rounded. I don't know. Just the fact that it's got the pod racing stuff, it's got Darth Maul, it's got Qui-Gon.
I mean, it's a big kid pleaser. Like, if you were 12 and you saw that movie, you were gonna love it.
Ooh, that's just hanging off the edge of the table there.
She'll hold together.
She'll hold.
All right, one more bag.
Put her off to the side there.
Yeah, we're about to attach something else to that, so...
On this side?
Yeah.
Oh no. We gotta make room. Well, you gotta build it first. Don't get 2 lemons. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, wondering who they would want to see in the Book of Boba Fett the most. Who we would want to see?
I want to see all the bounty hunters. Like, maybe not even maybe all of them, but just more bounty hunters. Like, the War of the Bounty Hunters comic event left me kind of disappointed. It didn't really feel like much of a war between the bounty hunters. So I want to see some bounty hunters fight. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I want to see Forlom and Zuckuss. Dengar, I guess. I don't have anything against Dengar. I'm just joking. Do you want to see Cobb Vanth?
Of course I do.
Fett?
Unless he's gonna die, and then no. If Boba Fett is mad at Cobb Vanth, I don't want to see him.
Yeah, like, I'm curious. Like, I don't think they're going to see each other again, but I think it would be interesting if they did. Like, what do you think that conversation would look like about the armor?
I'm just like, oh, looks like the armor I used to have. Like, I'm glad you got it back. No hard feelings. Like, I hope Boba Fett doesn't feel like Cobb Vanth wronged him somehow.
No, because I think we talked about this, like, the idea that Boba Fett would have taken back his armor.
Right.
Or he could have taken it back at any time, but it was being put to good use, and I think Boba Fett knew that. So I think he let Cobb Vanth hold on to the armor temporarily.
I hope. Like, I do want to know, you know, why? Why didn't you take your armor back for 5 years? Why did you wait until Din took it, and then you chased him down to find it? It does seem like there's a reason, so I hope they address that.
Oh, I put this on before I got the cape on, and I can't get it up. There we go. These stupid nails. Tell us how you really feel, Hilo.
I don't think they can hear Hilo snoring.
Hilo is snoring. He's just like dead to the world, asleep underneath us. He's chilled out so much since he was a puppy. Kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, he used to be all over us when we were trying to stream. Now he's just like, yeah, I'll sleep. That's fine.
Aww. What a sweet boy. I like that this minifig has like long snoot. It's like a little mask that he wears. But the way that it goes on the minifig, it looks kind of like Gonzo. The Muppet. Jamie Dorr, thanks for the super chat. I'm still working on other LEGO projects. Oh boy. Toya, Helrix, A-Wing for the Tanab Yellow Aces, and other stuff.
I'm gonna guess those are some custom jobs, which I might need to.
The Tanab
after our
Aces.
October build, I might need to find.
We have the
something else.
Viper, the custom Viper that we never built.
Well, I meant something Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're down to like just the ones that I haven't built yet.
Uh huh. And none of those are Star Wars.
Yeah. Oops. What other Star Wars sets are out there that we don't have?
I think the Bad Batch's shuttle is
oh,
out.
the UCS.
Yeah, the gunship. The
LAAT
gunship.
is out.
That's a good one. I'll probably do that if I can find it.
Elliot Finn, thanks for the super chat. Like I said to Alex on Patreon a few weeks ago, we need to do a Star Wars Explained pub crawl if/when Celebration is in London again. That would be amazing.
That'd be great.
We're
I'd love to do that.
absolutely down to do that. And yeah, any excuse for us to go on a trip overseas would be amazing. Hopefully, you know, pandemic stuff is better by then.
I do hope Celebration goes to Europe at some point again.
I do too. Like, I feel like it might not because there's no Galaxy's Edge over
That's
there.
my fear, yeah.
But I hope that it does. Yeah, I'm afraid that it's just gonna be between Orlando and Anaheim from now on because that's where the Disney parks are. But who knows? Tyler Davis, thanks for the super chat. Can't think of a question, I just hope y'all have a good night. Oh,
Thanks, Tyler.
thank you. Usually Wednesdays are kind of busy nights because we do this, then we cook dinner, and then I go and do a certain point of view, and then I guess we go to bed. Or we stay up and watch TV. Don't Get Two Lemons with another super chat. Just wondering if you two think we will ever see the black wing virus and any other form of media ever again. I loved how creepy that book was.
Not real. Am I thinking of the right thing?
What's the black wing?
Is that the zombie virus? I think that's the zombie virus from Death Troopers and Red Harvest.
That's different. Okay, I was like, I thought they were talking about the... What's that other virus in the Clone Wars?
Blue Shadow virus.
The Blue Shadow virus. I was like, there's a color in there. I know that.
They've, if I'm thinking about the right thing, they've referenced the zombie stormtroopers a little bit, but they've always chalked it up to like rumors. But they basically said in the visual dictionary for Rogue One that Death Troopers were named for like this rumor going around that there was some experimental thing where the dead were coming back to life, and who knows if that's true or not. So no, I don't really think they're gonna go full zombie mode with Star Wars, but maybe.
I like how I mean, I don't think this is the same virus, but they kind of like worked that story into the Clone Wars.
The Geonosian brainworms.
Yeah. It's different. It's not the same virus, but same
No,
kind
it's
of like
those worms
end
that
result
were infecting
of-
people.
Yeah. I think there's room for that in like different TV series maybe, but it would have to have a very specific reason that it was happening in anything new. Skylar Forslund, thanks for the super chat. I hope I said your name correctly. Hot take. Best saber battle in the movies is Finn versus Kylo. It felt so real, and they did a great job of showing Finn's desperation and anger.
I really like that lightsaber battle too, because it reminds me a lot of Vader and Luke in Empire, where like one is clearly toying with the other until the other one gets a hit in, and they're like, "All right, this is done. Shut it down."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love that fight. I really liked the Force Awakens lightsaber fights.
I did too. They were very deliberate, and I did really like Finn fighting with the lightsaber, and we were robbed of him getting any more lightsaber action, but maybe somewhere down the future.
I think it was a good mixture of, and you see this in The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker as well. I appreciate them getting tired while they fought and getting sweaty, and like it actually felt like a sword fight. I really like the highly choreographed fights in the prequels too. Like, I don't really feel like there's a wrong answer for lightsaber fights, but I did really like watching them get worn out.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of what my favorite lightsaber fight is.
Mine's probably Return of the Jedi.
I don't know, because I'm not super picky about that stuff, but I guess I would say Return of the Jedi.
Well, now you're just copying me. So.
Or I don't know. I like episode 1 too, with
Classic.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Maul. I see a lot of people saying Revenge of the Sith. I don't think, in my opinion, that is not anywhere close on my list because it's way too long and drawn out. But I know that that's a lot of people's favorites. Oh, the throne room scene. That's probably my favorite, to be honest.
Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird because like they're fighting with lightsabers. It's not a lightsaber duel, but I would still count it. I love that scene. Mm-hmm. Anytime Star Wars is in a throne room, you know stuff's about to go down.
Yeah. Red Vega, thanks for the super chat. Not Star Wars, but what did you think of the Super Mario movie castings? Oh boy.
Really, I think Chris Pratt was the only one that I was like, why? Everyone else, like, I like Luigi. Luigi's better than Mario. Let's just all accept that. So I actually thought Charlie Day was a fun choice. Especially for an animated movie. I don't know, like Jack Black as Bowser sounds fun. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, I'm down.
I mean, they all sound fun. Like,
but Chris Pratt
as Mario is interesting.
I mean, maybe he can do a great Mario impression. I don't know, but that's the one I'm skeptical of because most of the time when you hear him in like the Lego Movie or you just hear Chris Pratt's voice and that's it. So
yeah,
we'll see.
It's confusing and like very much potentially problematic to have him do like a fake Italian accent for the whole entire thing as Mario.
I don't think they're gonna go that direction. I hope not, but Like,
maybe they'll address it really early on in the film, and he'll like do a fake accent for a little bit, and then someone will be like, "Why are you talking like that? You only do that for the recordings."
I don't even think they're gonna do that. Like, I figure they're gonna get popped into some alternate dimension, or I don't know. Like, I think there's gonna be a reason that they all sound like that they all sound like voice actors, but I don't know. Like, the whole concept of a Mario movie, I wasn't really excited about it in the first place. I'm sure I'll see it. I like Mario, but I like Mario games. It's not like there's a whole lot of story to Mario.
I love how some people are now coming to the defense of the original live-action Mario movie.
Oh, I do love that movie. I saw it as a kid and was like,
I mean,
this is great.
They're terrible.
Yes, they're very bad. Or it's very bad.
But at least, you know, they were cast, for the most part, they were cast appropriately.
Bob Hoskins is a fun Mario. Everyone else... See, it's kind of, to me, it's like the inverse of this current one, where everyone but Mario, I'm like, okay, I'm on board with that. And in the live action one, I'm like, Mario's the only one that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I do like John Leguizamo as Luigi, but like Dennis Hopper as Bowser, or King Koopa, I suppose.
Yeah, that's an odd casting. We should do a rewatch of that. I haven't seen that in forever.
I think you would immediately regret your suggestion of doing that.
Probably. Padfoot 1979, thanks for the super chat. Rumor has it that the Black Friday Lego set will be an $800 AT-AT with Luke's lightsaber hilt gift with purchase. Really? Another AT-AT?
Yeah, we just built an AT-AT.
Like, they've done at least 2 or 3 of those.
Oh, they've done a lot.
Alright, I mean, I think the idea of doing, like, lightsaber hilts in LEGO, kind of like what they did with the helmets, is a good idea. Because that's something you can display.
Yeah, I like that idea too. I'd be very into that.
It's very much something that you're like, okay, I'll buy this LEGO set so I can display it as if it were an actual saber hilt.
Yeah, I don't know. The gunship too, I'm not like super psyched about that one for some reason.
Yeah, it's
just I like rebel ships. That's those are the UCS things I want to see.
Mm-hmm. Don't Get 2 Lemons with another super chat. I like that name. Think we'll ever see live action Clone Wars stuff?
I mean,
That's what the prequels were.
But I think like Jedi in armor and stuff like that. I mean, there are rumors.
We might see some flashbacks in like Kenobi.
That's what I was gonna say. There are rumors of flashbacks in Kenobi. So who knows? I did this wrong.
Is there an extended cut of the '93 Mario movie?
Is there?
About 30 minutes of cutscenes added back. Says Slow Snails Studios.
That's the first I'm hearing of it. I don't know why you would need to make that movie longer, but I haven't seen it in a while.
What if it completely changes the film?
I doubt it. See, I remember I fought for that movie at a White Elephant. This was a good long while ago, but
this
then
was
after,
in like 2009, 2010?
Probably. It was a long time ago. And afterwards I was like, I want it, and now I must watch it. And I was like, this is punishment.
This is what you get.
Yeah. It's rough.
I don't know that we'll see much more. Well, I don't want to say that. Live action Clone Wars stuff. We might see some more flashbacks in other series like Ahsoka. Maybe.
And we did technically get some live action Clone Wars in The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got live action B2 super battle droids, which were terrifying, as they should be.
I'm not expecting a ton of flashbacks in Kenobi. Like, if it happens, awesome. But I don't think they're going to go overboard with the Clone Wars stuff. I think they're going to have a new story to tell.
Mm. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, what we have lined up so far as live action shows, what we would see Clone Wars stuff in.
Ahsoka and Kenobi sound like the prime suspect. Maybe Cassian, because he was a separatist. His family were separatists. So,
yeah.
And it's going to be well after the Clone Wars, but like we might see some Clone Wars era tech or something.
Yeah. Most of what I can think of would be like, oh, this would be a flashback in this series,
right.
But could get some super early Clone Wars stuff in the Acolyte.
I think the Acolyte's going to take place a lot earlier than that.
Yeah. Doc Cube says, I'm expecting to see Vader fight a Force vision of Obi-Wan for the 500 millionth time.
He has done that a lot in the comics.
In the comics, yeah. But that's another one of those things that, like, it's happened plenty in the comics, but has the casual fan ever seen that happen?
Totally agreed.
Who doesn't read the comics?
Yeah, and honestly, like, that'll be a little disappointing to me, I think. It's the same reason there was some stuff in, like, The Last Jedi, where I was like, you're retreading ground the comics have covered multiple times already, and I'm like, I'm tired of seeing this story, but I get that most people haven't seen this story. But that is something that can be frustrating. That's like one of the downsides of reading everything.
This is a cool little... Is this like a drive-through window?
I'm not sure.
That's what this looks like. It's got like a little Flintstones, like some kind of top to it.
I think they just wanted to, like, add extra pieces to this thing, because we're not even building the cantina anymore.
This is where you go to get a tag for your
land speeder.
Or your...
Dewback?
Dewback. Yeah, this is where you buy your parking ticket. Or your parking
do you validate?
Permit. Oh boy. This is what happens when we go for this long.
This is what happens when you touch my Legos.
They're my Legos too.
Fine.
They're half my Legos. Legally. This is like such a huge set. I don't know where we're going to put it. Unless we just make it the centerpiece of our dining room table. Which we can't because we have one already. There's so many minifigs. We just need to like find places for them. I wish we had like a bird's eye view camera angle for this one. Do you think you'll be done in 15 minutes?
What time is it?
7:44.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, ish.
Ish. Done-ish. Galen Shumway, thanks for the super chat. The Star Wars Holiday Special was released during what holiday?
Thanksgiving.
See, that makes sense, because there's not enough going on in the media around Thanksgiving. And there's, like, There's a couple of Thanksgiving-themed movies, but not a lot. I decided that my yearly rewatch of all the Twilight movies was going to be like a Thanksgiving... Not a Thanksgiving tradition, but a November tradition. I don't know why.
I will find something else to do.
And Alex will be somewhere else, anywhere else.
I don't mind the last fight, actually, in the last movie. That was kind of fun.
Of course, Star Wars Thanksgiving special where Cut, Rex, Cody, Bad Batch, and his family have a dinner. Oh.
That would be nice. Maybe Disney Plus will do one of those Yule logs this year, like Netflix always does. People always make the joke of putting Darth Vader on as the Yule log, but like just a scene of Cut LaQuaine and his family having dinner would be nice.
Yeah. Eric Kalin has a MCU question. My brother hates Captain Marvel because he says she has no weaknesses. I think her inability to communicate plans and regulate emotions is thoughts. I don't know much about Captain Marvel's, like, powers.
Me neither. I feel like Ashton has explained them to us multiple times and I'm still at a loss.
Yeah, she definitely has weaknesses, though.
I mean, I can't tell you what they are, but again, I can't tell you what her powers are either. It's like, I didn't really...
I mean, she would have saved everyone and beat Thanos, so she didn't have any weaknesses.
I mean, she stood up, she took a headbutt from Thanos, no problem.
Yeah, but she didn't win.
Because he punched her with the Power Stone.
And?
I do think that the Captain Marvel movie didn't do a great job of exploring who Carol Danvers is as a person, or like why exactly we should care about her, and I don't think it explained her powers or weaknesses very well. Like, I just don't feel like I knew Captain Marvel at all after watching that movie.
Yeah. I only saw that the one time, and...
I think I've seen it twice.
I couldn't tell you, like, what it was about other than kind of her origin story. But yeah, they didn't really explain a whole lot. I think we'll get more about Carol Danvers in the sequel, but who knows?
I mean, I had fun watching that movie.
There's a reason why we're not a Marvel Explained channel.
I had fun with Captain Marvel, but walking out of it, I was like, I don't really remember it all that well. Fun time at the movies, and that's about it.
It's one of my favorite gifts, though, is when she does the like clap in this, but it's a rainbow.
Oh.
That's one of my favorite gifts. Don't Get Two Lemons with another super chat. Would you two be hyped or excited for a what-if type Star Wars show like what Marvel is doing, but with points from the Star Wars timeline? No.
I don't think so.
I don't think it works for Star Wars.
I mean, yeah, I'd rather see something like Visions, if they're going to do outside of the canon stuff. I enjoyed Visions more than I am currently enjoying What If.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't watched today's episode, and I kept forgetting that there was a new one, because I'm just like,
I mostly don't want that to happen, because I don't want to hear people complain about it.
Well, that's true of anything Star Wars does. So.
But people are already complaining about the idea of Star Wars What If. It doesn't even exist.
We're doing that now.
Exactly. I don't want it. If it happened, I guess we'd be obligated to talk about it because of the channel. But
yeah, obviously we'd check it out, but no, it's not exactly something that I want. I enjoyed like the Infinities comics back in the day, but comparing What If, the Marvel series, to Loki or any other Marvel show so far, I just don't really have nearly as much interest in it.
Yeah. Like the Marvel What If series, we talked about this earlier, but it's not that great.
I mean, that's why we don't watch it.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we don't keep up with it.
But we'd be forced to if it were Star Wars.
Not really. Wouldn't have to cover it.
True. We'd be highly suggested to.
By who?
It's our job, is it not?
It's our job to cover what we want to cover.
Well, YouTube and Google Analytics would argue that we have to talk about whatever is relevant and new.
I'm just saying, if I hate something, I'm not going to talk about it.
Which makes me think of a point that I meant to bring up much earlier in the show, which is that we're on TikTok.
What? What made you think of that all of a sudden? Things that are new and
relevant.
Oh, okay.
Well, TikTok's not new, but it is relevant. I keep seeing, like, creators that I watch normally on, like, YouTube or Instagram talk about, I'm on TikTok now, not because I want to, but because numbers or whatever. But there's definitely a fun side of TikTok, and you can get lost on TikTok, which can be dangerous, but yeah, Star Wars Explained on TikTok. It's basically some of the same stuff as our YouTube
so far it's only the same stuff.
Videos.
Only the shorts that we've been posting.
Yeah, the shorts. He's just working away over there.
Mm-hmm.
What piece is that? Does that go here?
I have no idea.
I'm hungry.
Okay, I'm trying to finish. You're distracting me.
This is all. It will be a 2-hour stream.
Go us.
Where you've said like maybe 30 words.
That's not true. We've both been ranting a lot.
Elliot Finn asked, "What's for dinner?" We should really look into getting sponsored by Home Chef, because I feel like I end up talking about it every time dinner comes up because I'm so excited to eat food. Salmon and like a spring mix salad, I think.
BLT salad.
Don't Get Two Lemons with another super chat asks, "Just curious, you think Mace will ever come back?"
No, not after Revenge of the Sith. It's possible. They could do it because of the fact that Darth Maul came back and Palpatine came back, and they've made it clear that anyone can come back, but I don't think Mace will. Or I don't think he should.
No, I don't think he's coming back.
I think his death is too important to Anakin's story. And that was like his big first action as Darth Vader, to help kill him. So, no, I think they should leave him dead.
Yeah. I mean, Anakin did a lot of bad stuff there towards the end, but do you think, I don't know, do you think his death would be as final if Anakin didn't have the line, "What have I done?" Or is he just saying, "What have I done," like in general?
I think that's, I guess, kind of in general, but No, I don't think you need that line for Mace's death to be final.
Daniel S. said, technically he did come back in Tross. His voice came back with some wise words. But so did a couple other people.
That is true.
I feel like his voice being in Tross means like he definitely didn't come back.
Yeah, that's true too.
He gone. What I always wonder is like what happened to his body? Did it disappear into the Force on his way down?
No, he didn't go through the special training.
So he landed in somebody's speeder somewhere. And they were like, ugh, Monday, am I right?
People are always falling out of the sky in Star Wars.
True. Sam Jackson wanted his character's death as dramatic as possible. That was the point.
Well, he got it.
Yeah. I mean, anyone could have found Grogu. Some people said that Mace came back and was the one to save Grogu. I don't think we'll ever find out who saved Grogu. I don't know. I don't see that being a story that they really want to get into the details of.
I could see it happening in the Bad Batch season 2.
Maybe.
I could see that. Just because of the whole Mount Tantus thing and the idea that maybe the Bad Batch will go there and then like wind up rescuing some random child that needs rescuing. But then where does he go from there? Like,
could you see Wrecker and Grogu together?
Oh god, that'd be too much. But like, where does Grogu go from there? How does he wind up trapped somewhere with like a bunch of mercenaries or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no way, like, once Wrecker saw Grogu, there's no way he just lets him go. And is like, okay, on your way, little guy. No, they're best friends forever. Katuni saved Grogu and took him to Hondo. Oh,
that works.
I would like to see Katuni come back, though.
Me too.
Any of the younglings from that youngling arc, which we just put out a... Was it a commentary for, or did we record a video for it?
Commentary. We recorded a video too, but that
won't come out for a little while.
That's a ways off.
Didn't you say Hondo named his ship?
The Katuni.
The Katuni.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah, I really like that. The one he has at Galaxy's Edge.
Did he have a name for the Slave One when he had it?
I don't know if he had it long enough for...
Probably not.
I don't know.
I can't help but laugh at Hilo snoring. You guys probably can't hear it, but he's under me just snoring away. Poor guy had a busy day of barking at nothing.
Same thing I do every day.
Literally any little sound he'll like jump up and bark at. Like if I'm in my office and I'm drinking coffee and I set my mug down too hard, he thinks it's like a knock at the door and he goes nuts. Ooh, cat snores are really fun to listen to.
Where does this go?
Jedi Array, thanks for the super chat. Besides Star Wars Legos, do you have any other sets? And would you consider building one of them live? Well.
Good timing.
We Might be doing that next month for...
Next week.
Yeah, next week for October. But yeah, we have a holiday-themed one. We've got the Elf House, the Elf Clubhouse. That we'll probably build in December.
Just knocked that off.
I still have my bonsai tree that I need to build. But I've got a couple other sets. We talked about doing maybe the Battlestar Viper sometime. But mostly we'll stick to Star Wars sets, I think. Are we done?
Yep, I gotta attach this building to the thing, but... Oh, maybe not. No, I think that's just loose.
Where does it even go?
That's it.
How are we gonna show
There
them
it
the
goes.
finished
That's how it
product?
goes.
Maybe we'll take some pictures and post them on Twitter, because we can't really pick the camera up and show you guys the finished product. But it's done. This is a big, flat
I can point it down.
Lego set.
Oh wait, no, I don't want to mess the camera up.
Oh yeah, you yell at me all the time when I move the camera.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
It's just a sea of minifigs over here.
Just, yeah, they can see most of it. There's a dewback back here. We're good.
You heard it here, folks. We're good. We'll take a picture of it and maybe put it on Twitter so you can see the finished product. But it's really not that impressive of a set.
Okay. Just 7 weeks of work, it's fine.
It's okay. I like the minifigs. I'm sure if we find a way to display it better, it'll look better.
Yeah.
But right now it just looks like
it's pretty cool.
A big pile of like tan bricks.
Yeah. Well, let's go get some dinner.
Let's do it. Another last super chat of the night, Jedi Array. When are you going to grow your beard again? Beard gang for life.
I don't know. Maybe I'll grow the mustache back out for November or something.
I was gonna say, you never had a beard.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Patchy, but I didn't just have the mustache.
You had hair on your face.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll see it resurface sometime. But that's going to be it for tonight's stream. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And yeah, we'll be back next week with some October-themed fun stuff.
You know we've already talked about what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Why are you being all cagey about it now?
You haven't said anything about it.
Well, because you were being cagey.
I'm not being cagey. I'm being dramatic.
Okay. Well, we can keep being dramatic.
Okay. All right. That's going to be it for us tonight, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.